Hello, folks. Welcome back to Chris Wyatt Reports. Well, are cracks beginning to form in the government of national unity? You tell me. What do you think? We are not going to beg Helen. If she wants to, she can leave the government of national unity. So says Fikile Mbalula. Mbalula told journalists yesterday at the ANC's national executive meeting in Nicklin that Zille was a mouthpiece of the opposition seeking to sow discord within the unity government. He said, Mbalula said that Helen Zille's comments were an attempt to destroy the ANC. She doesn't have to try. The ANC's done a good job of that over the past three decades. Mbalula continued by saying, we are a leading party, the largest one. True. The biggest expression of the will of the people. We are not going to be engaged in polemics with Zille or whoever wishes. So, folks, why the sudden public discord or spat? Well, Helen Zille was speaking at the Friedrich Naumann Foundation. This is a German conservative organization. And she said that from the very beginning, Ramaphosa came up with the idea of a government of national unity, which he thought would be a better way of selling the concept of a coalition of the African National Congress with other parties. And that's exactly what I said. There's so much discord within the ANC with the black supremacists and racists that have a lot of ascendancy in the ANC, that in order to form a government that included the party that they fraudulently call the party of apartheid, the Democratic Alliance, that they would have to call this a government of national unity to give the veneer of everyone's involved. But from the very beginning, this was an agreement between the Democratic Alliance and the ANC. Make no mistake, the two of them can govern without anyone else. The rest is just a facade. And of course, the DA got taken to the cleaners. They didn't get anywhere near the representation they should have got. They're 50% less representation in ministerial posts than their share of the government of national unity. Anyway, so Zille says at the Friedrich Naumann Foundation that it's not a government of national unity.
Now, this, of course, is not a government of national unity, because a government of national unity brings all parties together.
Duh, as if we did not know that. I have stated since the moment the ANC and the Democratic Alliance reached an agreement between the two parties, not anyone else, they reached an agreement between the two parties on forming a government, that this is a veneer. It's a facade. It is not a government of national unity. It is a coalition. That's what I said all along. But after Zille's address, the economic freedom fighters are sowing their oats and feeling that they've really been exonerated, saying that they characterized it as a coalition. Well, duh, like you're a rocket scientist. Since its inception, the EFF has rejected and labeled the government of national unity as a grand coalition between the DA and ANC. And that's what I've said. They accuse the ANC of being sellouts. Now, this is what the EFF had to say. It's common knowledge that the foundational document, which constituted the GNU, was signed by Helen Zille and Fikile Mbalula to solidify the relationship and grand coalition between the two political parties. Yeah, exactly. It is common knowledge. So this is hardly news. So what's going on here? The EFF says that explains why the ANC refused to entertain any amendment to the foundational document. They didn't want to change it. The EFF said that that document had to include the Freedom Charter. That's lunacy. You have a constitution. The Freedom Charter was the inspiration for it. So stop. The Freedom Charter does not go into this agreement. Progressive internationalism, whatever the hell that is, and a commitment to redress our colonial and apartheid past. Wah, 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 wah. Oh, shut up. It's been done. It's being done. Now, this government of national unity, which is really just a grand coalition, includes the ANC, the DA, the Inkatha Freedom Party, Rise Mzansi, the Good Party, Patriotic Alliance, Al Jamaa, shockingly, the Freedom Front Plus, Pan-African Congress, and United Democratic Movement. And there you have it. So what is going on here? Well, Fikile Mbalula and Helen Zille seem to be starting a little personality war, and this is not helpful. So are we seeing the first cracks, public cracks in the government of national unity? Possibly. It seems likely. There have been cracks below the surface, which people haven't seen between these two parties. One of which is that many of the useless ANC ministers are embarrassed that the Democratic Alliance ministers are outperforming them, getting all the positive press. People like Leon Schreiber, Dean McPherson, doing incredible jobs. Even Gate McKenzie. We can argue whether he's doing a good job or not, but he's certainly getting a lot of positive press and a lot of press and attention while ANC ministers languish. Why? Because they're incompetent patronage hires. Almost none of them have the skills to even serve in government, let alone be ministers responsible for the lives of thousands of people and millions of South Africans. So there you have it, folks. That's the bottom line. The bottom line is that it's not a government of national unity. It was, and it never will be. And the EFF was correct. And I said that early on. It's one of the few times I've ever agreed with EFF. But what does it matter? As long as these parties work together and meet the needs of South Africans, when you want to call it a GNU, or you want to call it a wildebeest, or you want to call it a grand coalition, it's a sitting government for the moment. Helen Zille and Fikile Mbalula need to get a room. They really do. And just enjoy each other's company or duke it out. Cheers, everybody. Thanks for tuning in.